I know this feels a little bit taboo to say, but as I get closer to giving birth, I can't help but wonder, will I still be cool when I'm a mom? If you are currently pregnant, about to become a mom, or a new mom, let me ask you a question. Does anyone else feel like they're in a weird in-between space in life where all of a sudden everyone looks at you like you're this wholesome pregnant lady, but on the inside you're like, I'm still that bitch. Like, I'm still that cool girl. You know what I mean? And it's so annoying because it feels like society tells us that the second we become pregnant, we have to completely change how we show up in the world. All of a sudden, we have to be this wholesome pregnant lady, not push any buttons, not curse, yada, 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 not push any boundaries, not piss anyone off. And people feel like it's all of a sudden way easier to criticize how a pregnant woman or a mother is acting compared to a woman who isn't a mother or not pregnant. It's like you're damned if you do or you're damned if you don't. It's like, don't wear anything too revealing. Don't rock the boat. Make sure you give enough time to your kids. Make sure you give enough time to your career. And it's almost like, does anyone see the real me? I am 29 weeks pregnant. I just entered my third trimester, and I feel this pressure to be a certain way. When on the inside, I'm like, I still feel like that LA girl running around town, going to all the cool wine bars, hanging out with friends, up to God knows what. But in my actual life, I no longer live in LA. I live in this beautiful house, but I'm just like preparing to be this wholesome pregnant lady. And I'm preparing to start a family, which I'm so excited about, but I still feel kind of like I'm living a double life. I lived in Los Angeles for 13 years and then Austin, Texas for 2 years after that. And now we are living in the South. And let me tell you, pregnant women in the South are treated way different than in Los Angeles. And we're also given a different set of expectations here. So I am technically an old mom kind of for the South. I'm 34, whereas all of my 34-year-old friends in LA, most of them don't have kids. But like, for instance, if I was still in LA, I'd be walking around with my belly out. I'd be wearing outfits that show my belly. Here, if I was walking around with my belly out, I would get so many dirty looks. You have no idea. And while I am so grateful for our life here and I'm the happiest I've ever been, it is kind of a weird feeling to feel like I'm a certain person on the inside, but not seen as that person on the outside, all because I'm pregnant. I want to acknowledge that it's not shallow to still want to be cool when you become a mom. Being cool is identity, aliveness, and selfhood. Someone who is alive, interesting, and uniquely herself. Being a cool mom to me is a woman who in motherhood who doesn't allow her peers or society to tell her how she has to be or how she has to act. But instead, she stays true to herself and walks to the beat of her own drum. I feel like the biggest fear for myself going into motherhood and so many other women is this fear of losing yourself. That's what I was the most afraid of before I got pregnant. And now I know that it's kind of impossible to not let go of your old self. And I haven't even become a mom yet, but I am so aware of how life-changing and transformative this experience is. And I just know that there's no running away from becoming a new person. The old me is still there, but it's like I'm going through a portal and gonna come out a completely different person. So accepting that change is inevitable is a big part of it. You aren't losing your old self, you are evolving. We moved to the South not even 8 months ago, so I still feel like I'm living this old big city life. And we live in a city, we're not in a small town, we're in a pretty big city here. So there is a lot going on, but I still find myself not yearning for that old life I was living, but still wanting to keep that energy. So recognizing that I feel like I have two different sides of me right now, the recognition is good. So I've been sorting through all these feelings and I've realized a few things. The first being my old self doesn't expire. Becoming a mom doesn't erase who you are and who you have been up until that point. You still have your same sense of humor, your same edge. You didn't suddenly become a different species, and you're not trying to relive your 20s or whatever age you were before you got pregnant. You're trying to integrate her. So if you accept that change is inevitable when you're becoming a mother, as well as acknowledge that your old self isn't completely gone, you're then able to get excited about the person you're becoming. I think it's totally normal to grieve your old life, even if you love your current life. You can be deeply grateful for the person you are in this very moment while also missing parts of you that used to be. And this isn't being ungrateful, it's being human. The most powerful, helpful, and freeing thing for me during this time has been admitting that I actually feel this way and not trying to cover it up, because it can sometimes feel like there's a lot of guilt attached to feeling like you're living a double life because you should be grateful you're pregnant. And it's like, duh, of course I'm grateful I'm pregnant. That doesn't mean I can't miss my old life a little bit. And what's also helped me as well is finding women to be my iconic mom blueprint, I call it. So basically, you're going to look for women who are mothers who have a certain aspect of life that you want. It's basically a woman you admire who is a mom. This can be a famous person or a person in your real life that you know. For me, some of my iconic mom blueprints are Caroline Baldino from Shop with Caroline. I think she is so cool, and she has, I think, grown kids. Her kids are a bit older, but she is the perfect example of someone who has had the kids and also has a thriving career and isn't stopping as she gets older. Also, Melissa Wood Tepperberg, love her. She has the kids, she has the business, and I just love her vibe. Kristen Cavallari is also one. She is so uniquely herself. She has 3 kids and she is putting herself out there in all the ways. So finding 1 to 3 women who can be your iconic mom blueprint. Maybe you can print out pictures of them, put them on your vision board, or just watch their content online and keep up with what they're doing. Having women that we look up to who are also moms allows us to remember that, like, wait, our life is not over once we have kids. You know, you can still do a lot of big things when you're a mom. As I step into this new phase of life, what's really helped me as well is visualizing the transition. So if you close your eyes and you visualize your old self and imagine she's walking through a portal of sorts and then coming out the other side, this new, amazing 5.0 version of yourself, one that's even better than you could have ever imagined. That's going to be who you are as a mother. You're going to be even cooler, even hotter, more inspired than ever. And by visualizing that, I like to do it before I go to bed every night, by visualizing the woman I will be becoming as a mom. It allows it to integrate more. And also doing little things to keep the old version of me alive. So I've been listening to a lot of the music I used to listen to about 10 years ago when I was 24, listening to a lot of my old music. And it's really kind of brought me home to myself as well in a cool way. But by listening to the music I listened to in my 20s, it kind of brings me back to that like fearless, full of life vibe that I had going on, and allows me to take that with me into motherhood. And remember, there are going to be a lot of aspects of your personality that are going to surprise you as a mom. Like, I am very well aware that a lot of my personality as a mom, I don't even know how I'm going to be because it's going to be such a surprise. You know, I feel like motherhood is something that you can only prepare so much for, and that you have to leave a certain element of surprise in. So look forward to the woman you're going to become when you become a mother. Get excited about meeting her. I don't think becoming a mom asks you to be less. I just think it asks you to redefine what cool looks like for you. Just because you're becoming a mom doesn't mean you have to give everything up you've been working for. It doesn't mean you have to stop listening to the cool music or change aspects of your personality. If anything, it's going to amplify your personality. So if this video resonated with you, please share it with someone else who is also a soon-to-be mom or a new mom who is feeling this way. It's just always so much more fun when we connect and go on this journey together. Thank y'all so much for joining me, and I'll see y'all next time.